In a story that should come as a surprise to nobody who has been paying attention to this administration since day one, it turns out the Trump administration has lied to us once again. According to the administration, specifically Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, there was never a policy within the Trump administration to separate migrant children from their parents when they cross the border. Back in June, actually on June 17th, Nielsen actually said the following. He said, "We do not have a policy of separating families at the border, period." That is what she said. Well, as it turns out, again, absolute lie, because documents have now been obtained via a Freedom of Information Act request by the two groups, Open the Government and the Project on Government Oversight, that actually show that, yes, 100%, the Department of Homeland Security absolutely had a policy to separate children from their parents at the border. The documents obtained by these two groups actually include a memo sent to several departments, including the Department of Homeland Security, that laid out three possible options as to what to do about immigration. Option number 3 is the one that said, let's separate the parents from the children at the border because we believe that is probably the strongest deterrent to keeping people from coming over to the United States. That is the one that Nielsen signed off on. She said, yes, let's do it. That memo is from April 23rd. She gave the statement that we do not have that policy on June 17th. So we know without a doubt that not only did they have the policy, but Nielsen knew about it and Nielsen approved it. This entire administration is packed with liars. Not to mention the fact, I believe it was about a week ago, we had members of ICE and Customs come and testify before the Senate where they were asked about studies that showed how horrible, the negative psychological effects that this family separation policy had on children. They denied knowing about it, even though that it was actually present within the Trump administration. So they knew that it was going to screw up children. They knew that they enacted this policy and yet to this day continued to lie about it. Because even during the hearing last week, they said, we do not have a family separation policy and we do not detain people indefinitely. Literally the next day, it was revealed that Jeff Sessions filed a new law to ignore the Flores settlement that says you can't detain children more than 20 days. And he says we want to detain them indefinitely and deny bond for asylum seekers so that we can also detain them indefinitely. Literally everything anyone from the Trump administration has tried to say publicly about the family separation policy or immigration in general has been a complete lie. They cannot be trusted and they should not be trusted because we can verify at this point that everything they've told us, all of the policy changes that they've discussed publicly have been an absolute lie. And now we know that their own internal documents contradict their stories. There needs to be hearings on this. There needs to be more hearings. There needs to be public hearings. And we need to get answers from these high-ranking officials in the Trump administration to find out why they, much like the president, are so bad at telling the truth.